Good morning. Welcome to Nigeria Now on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television, the program which brings you major headlines across national dailies here in Nigeria. My name is Sagir Ibrahim, and we had quite an interesting weekend for the football lovers. As a matter of fact, we saw a lot of Premier League clubs, show their strength, and well, some were not strong enough. Talking about Manchester United, no need to throw, but that's just the fact. We saw the thrashing that they received over the weekend, and we're hoping that they will come up stronger. Yes, I have in the studio with me, as always, my guest, who is a political affairs analyst as well as a newspaper analyst here in the studio, Mr. Felix Adetowo. Good morning, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, are you a Manchester United fan?
No,
I've been trolling them as a matter of fact because they've been giving me real issues for a very long time. But moving on, let's start with the Daily Times newspaper. We see on the front page there, jailbreak, FG will recapture all escaped inmates, and that's by the Minister of Interior, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola. It says 446 out of 907 escapees have been recaptured. Warns residents against assisting escaped inmates. Attacks on prisons premeditated, means to ridicule government. So, Mr. Felix, I want to ask. I want you to help me make sense out of how 907 inmates would escape from a prison or from a correctional facility.
I personally I believe where the problem lies is most of these guys in prison have they really been tried? Why is it that our prisons are filled up? If you've been to prisons, you see what I'm talking about. You see, what are we doing about decongesting the prisons in the first place? Because most of those people, they may not really have been sentenced, to prison and the rest, or correctional center, as the case may be. But for over 900 of these inmates to have found their way out of that place shows the laxity that we have in our institutions. Because looking at this, our prisons seems not to be safe. Because if I think the prison was attacked, okay, if it was attacked, then and these people just left like that, then what is the fate of the people even taking care of them? I mean, those working at the correctional center. So, no security for the people working, no security for the inmates, because someone that has been sentenced to the prison should be protected by the state. Now we are seeing this happening. So, things are just somehow in this country.
Okay, so another question I want to ask, what do you think would be the snowballing effect of their escapes? Because, as a matter of fact, some of them, who were accused and found guilty and convicted would hold a personal vendetta against those, say, police officers or whistleblowers who had reported their cases in the first place. So what are some of these snowballing effects that one would expect to happen in situations like this?
The effect is dangerous to society because we don't know the kind of people that have found their way out of the prison. Probably some of them are criminals who have been convicted. Some are innocent, but let's assume that most of them are criminals that have been convicted. And if they now find their way into the society, you know what that can really result to. So I think it's dangerous to society. But what we need to be so proactive in protecting government facilities at all times. So what happened at Imo State, in a few weeks past.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to the Blueprint newspaper. The very gaping headline there states investigation POS transactions from 307,000 machines hit 15.6 trillion naira in 4 years. ATM starves of funds to service pay points customers. It's preposterous to allege CBN banks connive, and that's by Nwani Sobi. Operators differ on funding by bank staff. Apex Bank needs to intensify regulation. Lawyer. ATM servicing 90% customer needs overwhelmed. Bank spokesperson. So yes, we've seen how the use of POS point of sale machines have grown over the years, such that it has become a business and a mini bank sort of. Decongesting banking halls, especially during the time of COVID-19, where it became really difficult to access banks, and we saw how the use of POS machine across the country skyrocketed. But now again, this is looking more like it has started becoming a means of perpetrating fraud and various kind of scams. So do you think the CBN is doing enough, to regulate POS transaction? Or I dare say, do you think the continuation of, POS use as by merchants, as they call themselves, is necessary at this time?
Well, we can say that's another form of job creation. But if we look at it in depth, what kind of job are we even creating in the first place? Because most graduates now are going into, operating this POS, and I think that's not too good for us. And now we've seen that fraudsters have even taken over this stuff. So I feel what the federal government should do, or the CBN, is to make sure that this is better regulated than how it is. Even federal government last week they said that they want to be training over 1,250 people, on this. Then give them a startup capital of 20,000 naira. Then with the machine and the rest, you begin to see, and they will add all this now to the jobs they've created. But in the real sense, what are they really making? What the people operating? What are they really making out of it? Can this sustain you as a Nigerian in this present Nigeria? Can the income from that sustain a Nigerian? If you withdraw 10,000, I think it's just 100 naira. I think so. It's just 100 naira.
100 or 200.
Or 200. How many people will come for that in a day and will be telling the youth to have the entrepreneurial spirit? But if you look at it in the real sense, this is not a good way of job creation. And to regulate this, because of those that are already taking over the fraudsters are already taking over the federal government and the CBN should find a better way, to make sure that everything is perfected, so that people don't start crying at the end of the day.
Talking about fraudsters, I know I've heard occasions where some people said they were robbed at gunpoint, and as they couldn't access, in fact, they were not even taken to the ATM machines. Some of these armed robbers had POS machines with them, and it was just a matter of give me your card, put your PIN, and on the spot, they were robbed of all of their savings, and there was nothing they could do about it. So how do they ensure that the wrong set of people don't get access to these POS machines to perpetrate crime?
Yeah, it's they can only do that through good regulation, better regulations. I believe they're experts and they know what all this is about. So I think they should just find a way. I'm sure they are aware of all these things happening in the society. We know all this. If you and I can know, I believe they also know. So they should just find a way of knowing the kind of people through regulation that they will be able to curtail all these things that has now become a menace now to your society.
All right, so let's go to the Nigerian News Direct newspaper. Just in a few words, I want you to address this. I will fix Nigeria in 365 days as president, and that's by Governor Yahya Bello. Quite lofty dreams and quite a bold statement. But this is not the first time we've seen statements like this, because in the past, just before President Muhammadu Buhari became president, he made utterances similar to this one. So how possible do you think this is?
I think our youth governor has just given a joke that is taken too far. This is Nigeria, not Kogi State. Kogi State is just a small part of the country. Are you getting it now? So I don't really know what he's trying to say, but what his statement is giving to us now, what his postulation is giving to us, is that these people who always want to be in government, it's time for us to start asking them questions. How do you want to do it? It's not a matter of I want to do. Everybody can do. If I ask you now that how will you do, you say yes, I will do. But how? The how is the problem. We've not been interrogating them. Are you getting my point? We've not been interrogating them. But as we start interrogating them, we will now see that these people have nothing to really offer. Because it's in the intention. What is their intention? Most of them don't really come to power just to help us. But what they do is to just to come up with cheap political statements, to just get our attention and the rest, and probably spend some money during the election and the rest. But we need to start interrogating. By the time we interrogate them, we'll be able to get to their depth. And when we get to their depth, most of these people are like feathers. They have no weight.
All right, most of them are like feathers who have no weight. Quite a statement from Mr. Felix. However, on the Blueprint newspaper, we see Nigeria's investment rate of return still negative but shrinking. A big story, IHS told us how a bad bet on GSM became a $7 billion company. Frontal page editorial, Nigeria must secure its future today. And that's it on the Business Day newspaper and by extension Nigeria Now. You could be a part of Nigeria Now by connecting with us on our various social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TOSTV Network. You could also watch Nigeria Now via our website at www.tostvnetwork.com, as well as watch a recap of Nigeria Now and other programs by TOS Television via our YouTube page at TOS TV Network. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, my name is Sagir Ibrahim, and I will see you tomorrow.